New advice has been released by Australia's peak immunisation body, clarifying what it means to be up to date with COVID vaccinations. The Australian Technical Advisory Group on Immunisation recommended to National Cabinet that an Australian aged 16 or older be considered up to date if they had received 3 doses of vaccine. Watch the video above to see more on the booster shot approved for teens. Those who had their second dose more than 6 months ago would be regarded as overdue. Children under the age of 16 are still considered up to date following 2 vaccine doses. Those aged 16 and over who have received a booster will be considered up to date under new advice. Credit, AAP. However, severely immunocompromised people aged 5 years and older will require a 3rd primary dose to remain up to date. Booster COVID-19 doses will be mandatory for aged care workers across the country under new vaccine advice. Prime Minister Scott Morrison, Premiers and Chief Ministers agreed a national mandate would only apply to aged care workers under intense pressure from the Omicron wave. The advisory group have stated that these new recommendations only apply domestically and do not apply to international border settings. International tourists must have 2 doses when the border reopens later this month. States and territories agreed during Thursday's National Cabinet meeting it would be up to them whether to mandate boosters for other groups. ADIGU recommends that people over 16 years of age should receive a booster dose 3 months after their primary course. Credit, AAP. States will decide if they want to enforce booster mandates for travellers, as has been flagged by Victoria. This advice has now been referred to National Cabinet for implementation. Booster COVID-19 doses will also be mandatory for aged care workers across the country under new vaccine advice. Mr. Morrison, Premiers and Chief Ministers agreed a national mandate would only apply to aged care workers under intense pressure from the Omicron wave. The sector has recorded more than 500 virus deaths so far this year. The federal government has thrown a task force and booster payments at the problem as workers request a 25% pay rise. With AAP,